he got the company to agree to give him Islam and to give him a bout agreement. So Ilia Topuria knows how to do things behind the scenes. He knows who to talk to. He knows how to manipulate the media. And there's a huge manipulation to get anything done that you want in life, let alone business, let alone in this sport.
Ilia go to Madrid. He have his own gym in his house, and he want all the energy on him, you know. And we decide, like gentlemen, you know, have our own way.
É uma grande luta. Ele é um grande lutador, mas eu não preciso provar mais nada pra ninguém de quem eu sou, o que eu já fiz dentro da grande cage. Essa luta chegou numa oportunidade gigantesca. Eu vou nocautear esse cara. Essa é ela.
But he's gonna knock this guy out.
Na realidade, quando eu tô andando pro octógono, eu só tô pensando na minha família. Eu quero tirar toda a pressão, sabe? Eu quero olhar o sorriso da minha filha, o sorriso do meu filho, os momentos bons que eu tô tendo, sabe? Eu não quero pensar em muitas coisas. Porque, tipo, quando você fecha aquela grade que você tá lá dentro, lá, se você tem um pouco de nervosismo, se você tem um pouco, sabe, tipo, que vai te atrapalhar ali dentro, você não entrega nada, tá ligado? E aí, tipo, eu estando feliz, eu estando tranquilo, eu só quero ser eu.
Exato.
Quando eu sou eu dentro do cage, as coisas acontecem, sabe? Tipo, é muito natural, tá ligado? É muito natural.
A major shift has taken place in Ilia Topuria's camp ahead of UFC 317, where he's set to battle Charles Oliveira for the vacant UFC lightweight title. El Matador and his brother, Alexandre Topuria, have officially parted. Ways with their longtime coaches, the Clement brothers, a surprising move this close to the biggest fight of Ilia's career.
A bit of news broke last night that Ilia Topuria is not working with his longtime coaches anymore ahead of his title fight against Charles Oliveira at UFC 317. And this is why you got to be following Alvaro Colombiero. This is the guy that was on the Ilia Topuria news from the get-go. He basically called that Topuria was going to be on UFC 317. You got to be following him, guys. If you're not, you're really missing out here. So he actually made a little mini thread on this, and this gives a bit more clarity as to why Topuria is not working with his coaches anymore. So he says that both parties live in different cities, and their multiple professional projects prevent them from collaborating in the same way they have always done.
Ilia Topuria's former coach, Jorge Clement, has confirmed the split, revealing that Ilia is no longer training with their team. Instead, Topuria has relocated to Madrid and set up his own personal training facility. According to Jorge, the decision was mutual. Ilia wanted to carve out his own path, while the Clement brothers remain focused on their own family-run gym and projects. Jorge admitted that, on a personal level, it's a bit bittersweet, but professionally, they've moved on. He emphasized that while they still support Ilia from afar, they are no longer part of his training camp.
Is it true that Ilia Topuria is moving away from you guys? Is he moving to another gym? What's going on?
Yes, he's real. He go to live to Madrid, and I have my own project here with my brother. We have our family, we have our club, we have a lot of fighters. We have our promotion. Ilia go to Madrid. He have his own gym in his house, and he want all the energy on him, you know. And we decide, like gentlemen, you know, have our own way. No, yes, of course, we are a little sad, but I want everything in his life continue going well, you know. I want all good for him and his brother. And I think they do the same for us.
What's more, Jorge Clement expressed confidence in Ilia Topuria's future, despite their professional split. He made it clear that while they're no longer working together, he believes Ilia has what it takes to succeed, especially in his upcoming title clash against Charles Oliveira. According to Jorge, the separation won't hinder Ilia's performance, and he still sees him as fully capable of capturing the lightweight crown.
I don't think so. His performance is going to be great. He's going to win. I know him, I know this sport, and I think he is very focused, and he's going to do real well.
Jorge Clement reflected on the split, calling it somewhat bittersweet. From an emotional standpoint, he admitted it's not easy. After all, they've been by Ilia's side since the beginning of his journey. But now, Ilia is growing into his own, ready to take flight independently. Jorge said they're proud of everything Ilia and his brother have accomplished and genuinely wish them the very best moving forward. While there's some sadness in parting ways professionally, the bond and friendship remain strong.
So will you guys no longer be working with Ilia, or will he still be coming by from time to time?
No, we don't work in anymore together. He go in his own and we in our.
But dude, this is big news. You guys have been together on this journey. How do you feel about this? This is big news.
I feel, always this is not good for the sentimental thing, but it's the life. We go with him on the journey, and now he grow and he want to fly away, We are very proud to do all the way with him. We are very proud for everything he do.
While this marks the end of an important chapter in their shared journey, it may not be a reason for concern. Fighters often switch up their training environments to gain fresh perspectives and refine their approach. In Ilia's case, this change could simply represent the next step in his evolution as a fighter, a natural part of his professional growth as he prepares for the biggest fight of his career.
How do you think that this fight will go with Charles Oliveira?
I think it's going to be in the way of knockout. I think Charles is going to try to cross with him, but in the end, he's going to try to do jiu-jitsu, because always you do what you real have inside. And I think Ilia have a very good takedown defense, and his power is out of discussion.
On the other hand, Ilia Topuria's former coach sees a potential showdown with Charles Oliveira as a thrilling, high-stakes clash. He believes the matchup promises fireworks, offering fans a compelling contrast in styles and experience. While acknowledging the dangers Oliveira presents, he remains confident that Ilia's skill set, mental focus, and drive will carry him to victory when it matters most.
Do you think his jiu-jitsu is better than Charles Oliveira's? Obviously, he's known for his jiu-jitsu.
I think if he's won, he can finish him, But I don't think it's going to happen in this way.
Are you disappointed?
Hear me, I love Charles. I think he's a very good person. Always I see him, I love the way he fight. I love the person who is, but I think he have a big stone in the way.
Ilia Topuria's former coach emphasized that his fighter's finishing ability goes far beyond just jiu-jitsu. With a strong wrestling base and powerful boxing, Ilia poses a threat in every aspect of the fight. When asked to compare Ilia's ground game to that of Charles Oliveira, renowned for his submissions, he acknowledged Oliveira's elite skills but expressed confidence in Ilia's ability to finish him. That said, he admitted it won't be easy. The coach praised Oliveira both as a fighter and as a person, but made it clear, matching up with Ilia presents a significant challenge that Charles will have to overcome.
I had people this morning in my live chat being like, he's pulling a McGregor, he's getting rid of coaches, like, this is terrible news. Like, it looks like this is just a better situation for Topuria going into this fight. If there's going to be travel issues with his coaches, I don't think it's a huge deal. Should there be any concern about this? Yeah, a little bit, but I don't think this is as big as people are making it out to be. Topuria was already going to do this anyways. There was also talk here from Alvaro. I don't know where the tweet is exactly, but people are making it out like there was some bad split. No, there was no bad split. It was just a logistical thing. This is going to make it easier for Topuria to prepare for his fight against Charles Oliveira.
If there's been a guy as good as commanding headlines and getting us talking about talking and meeting about meeting and thinking about thinking, if there's anybody that's done as good of a job as Ilia Topuria has, particularly in a short period of time, you're probably looking at him right now. Not for nothing, but if there's anybody that could walk out of a division, go to a new division, and be guaranteed a shot in the main event for a world championship, you're probably looking at him right now.
Despite the ongoing changes in his camp, Ilia Topuria continues to earn praise from major voices in the MMA world. Former UFC star and analyst Chael Sonnen highlighted Ilia's unique ability to dominate headlines and stir conversation, stating that few in the sport are better at capturing attention. Sonnen added that if there's anyone capable of jumping divisions and immediately landing a world title main event, it's Ilia, an acknowledgement of both his rising star power and elite talent.
Now, Ilia Topuria's brother, who was also a straight-up badass, if you hadn't heard, comes out and does an interview, and he was talking about his heroes, talking about his big brother. And he said that Ilia is going to be champ, which he's already been, going to go get a second champ, and then he is going to become the first champ. Now, I love that little brother sees his brother that way.
Chael Sonnen also touched on a recent interview with Ilia Topuria's younger brother, who spoke with admiration and pride, calling Ilia his hero. In a bold statement, he predicted that Ilia wouldn't just be a 2-division champion, he'd become the first ever 3-division champion in UFC history. Sonnen appreciated that level of brotherly respect, and said he's yet to see anything from Ilia that isn't worthy of admiration. If Ilia's long-term vision truly includes conquering the 145, 155, and 170-pound divisions, Sonnen suggested it might even make strategic sense to leap directly from featherweight to welterweight.
And I haven't seen anything out of Ilia yet that I could possibly criticize, but covering the spread of 45 and 55 and 70, if that truly is the end game, the strategy would be to go from 45 to 70. The only way you're going to get to 70 is to go from 45 to 70. Now, why do I say it's the only way? Well, because it's the only thing that's ever been done. Ilia Topuria is truly chasing down Islam. If that is the great story, Topuria versus Islam, go chase him down. And that, from a calculated standpoint, was an error. And so many guys do this.
Technically speaking, Ilia Topuria has his sights set on Islam Makhachev as the next major hurdle in his historic pursuit. As the reigning UFC featherweight champion, Ilia has expressed interest in moving up not just to lightweight, but eventually to welterweight as well, divisions where Makhachev currently dominates. This isn't about personal rivalry, but rather a strategic part of Ilia's ambitious goal to become a 3-division champion. To achieve that, Islam Makhachev stands as the most significant obstacle in his path.
But our debate was Ariel saying that he's got inside information that Ilia Topuria on day one of walking away from 45 was promised a title shot. I said, no way. That it's a cardinal sin of the UFC. It dates all the way back to a courtroom, BJ Penn on one side, Zuffa LLC on the other. You do not leave the belt. Now, Ariel says no, he was guaranteed. I said, why would they guarantee him? Why would they get a phone call with information they're not happy about and then guarantee him anything?
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen strongly pushed back against Ariel Helwani's claim that Ilia Topuria was immediately guaranteed a lightweight title shot the moment he left the featherweight division. Sonnen called the idea downright ridiculous, emphasizing UFC's ruthless history, where walking away from a division, especially as a champion, is a serious taboo. He dismissed the notion that the UFC would reward Ilia with a free pass to a title fight just for disrupting their plans. Drawing from his own experience and knowledge of the cutthroat nature of the sport's business side, Sonnen made it clear that the promotion rarely rolls out the red carpet for fighters who don't follow the established rules.
He called me a fool, said I didn't know what I was talking about. Now, the reality was I didn't have information. I was just following the rules of logic. I know they wanted him at 45. I know when he made that phone call and said, I'm not playing ball, that there'd be no reason they go, well, let us sweeten the pot for you. As you give us bad news, let us give you great news. Like, what a great negotiation. Sometimes people say things and you look back later and go, man, I got played here. But what I'm suggesting for you is if he did in fact have that golden ticket, he should have cashed it in at 170. And if he was chasing Islam and it was good enough to book Islam at 55, then he should have been able to get it at 170.
Sonnen didn't hold back, issuing a pointed challenge. If Ilia truly possessed a golden ticket to a title shot, the smartest move would be to cash it in at 170 pounds, where the stakes and rewards are just as high. Sonnen acknowledged that this debate is rare and unconventional. No fighter has ever attempted such a bold leap across multiple divisions before. Ultimately, it's an intriguing game of what if that continues to captivate fans, even though it remains a hypothetical scenario for now.
When the younger Topuria raises the argument and says, my brother's gonna be the first to be champ, I'm sharing for you, strategically speaking, he should have gone from 45 to 70. And he would have had him. You can't tell him he can fight Islam for the world title and then tell him he can't fight Islam for the world title. It's the same thing. Now, you may not like that math. You may not like that math, and you might think, whoa, Chael the Great, you blew one. You blew one for your first time. You gotta understand what we're arguing about. We're arguing about something that's never been done anyway. We've never had champ. It's not because we haven't had guys that could cover the spread. You better believe back in Hoist Gracie's time, he'd have beat them all. You better believe in Frank Shamrock's time, he'd have beat them all. You better believe Alex Pereira right now might be able to beat them all. It's getting the opportunity. Frank Shamrock was fighting. They didn't have other belts. They only had one.
Furthermore, Sonnen emphasized that Ilia needs to have a crystal clear plan if he truly wants to claim a UFC title. He pointed out how Islam Makhachev aggressively pursued the belt and successfully convinced the promotion to make the fight happen, showing a savvy understanding of both behind-the-scenes negotiations and media influence. Sonnen believes Ilia should consider making his move at 170 pounds rather than waiting. Drawing lessons from fighters like Conor McGregor, who expertly manage both the business and the sport, Ilia's path becomes clearer. If he can defeat Charles Oliveira, he has the skill to take on Islam at any weight class. Ultimately, the biggest challenge isn't just ability, it's securing the opportunity to fight, and that's the real battle Ilia must win.
And if he can get through Charles, that's good enough to get him to Islam. If he's good enough for Islam now, he's good enough for Islam at 170. That's his argument. He needs to make it. I'm not pleading this case for him. I'm letting you know. If his little brother wants this to be true, and it's very sweet that his little brother believes that, he's got to understand the number one key is not having the punches and the kicks. The number one key is getting the opportunity.
In a recent interview with Submission Radio on YouTube, Jorge Clement confirmed the split with the Topuria brothers and shared insights on what prompted their early departure from his team. A UFC lightweight contender also weighed in on the upcoming matchup between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira, describing Oliveira as a highly dangerous and skilled opponent. He pointed out that Oliveira's diverse skill set could present significant challenges for Topuria when they face off in the main event at UFC 317. Topuria and Oliveira are scheduled to compete for the vacant lightweight title after Islam Makhachev vacated the belt to move up to welterweight. El Matador has been on an impressive knockout streak, having finished both Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway in his last two fights, and he aims to continue that trend against another tough competitor, Dustin Poirier. Ilia's coach believes that if Topuria takes on Islam at welterweight, it would be a historic moment, as holding 3 titles across different divisions simultaneously has never been done before. Becoming a title contender opened major doors for Ilia, but facing Islam at welterweight would be especially challenging, since Islam wouldn't have to cut weight and would likely enter the cage stronger and heavier than Ilia.
I talk about the way a lot of time ago with you, and I think Ilia is going to be better if he don't need to cut weight, and he can do it great. He's maybe not so tall, but he's very powerful Muslim man, you know.
So is he still cutting quite a bit of weight to come to lightweight? Does he still have to cut quite a bit of weight to be at lightweight?
I don't know what is his way in this moment, but I think if he wants, he can do it.
3. Coach noted that Ilia Topuria typically doesn't need to cut a significant amount of weight to make the 155-pound lightweight limit, though he believes Topuria could handle it if necessary. When asked about the potential matchup between Islam Makhachev and John Jones, JDM, the coach expressed a strong preference for Islam to come out on top, as that would give Ilia a chance to face him in the future. Overall, the coach mentioned that with Islam out of the immediate picture, He considers Arman Yafai to be Ilia's toughest challenge among the leading contenders, followed by Justin Gathia and Patricio Pitbull Freire.
Are you disappointed that this Islam fight didn't happen? He's fighting JDM next.
Yes, of course. I think that fight is a really good fight, and I think it's going to happen in the future.
Do you think that's going to be a welterweight? Or do you think Ilia would have to move up to welterweight now to fight Islam?
I think it's a good idea. No, I have three belts. It's something never happened in the history.
3 belts. Wouldn't that be crazy?
That'd be crazy. Yes, it's going to be in the history for all the time.
In his recent appearance on Submission Radio, UFC lightweight contender Benel Dariush, currently ranked number 9, shared his insights on the upcoming fight between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. Dariush pointed out key areas where Oliveira could find success against Topuria. He said, "What's going to be tough for Ilia is Charles's striking. It's really dangerous, especially against skilled boxers. The way Oliveira throws his knees controls the clinch. That's something that can disrupt Ilia's rhythm. For example, a good boxer might dip or feint to get inside, but Charles will counter by raising his knee or landing kicks that mess, with timing. The fight promises to be much closer than some expect, with the stage set for a high-stakes showdown. On one side, there's Ilia Topuria, undefeated and fearless, now charting his own path. On the other, Charles Oliveira, a former champion with vast experience and a lethal submission game. Will Ilia's new solo journey end in triumph, or will Oliveira's seasoned skill prove dominant? Who do you think will come out on top? Will it be a knockout, submission, or a full-distance battle? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the latest fight updates.